Hey, good morning, you guys. It's Wednesday, the 25th of March, and I'm looking to talk to you today about more about the chakras, as per scheduled. But before I get into today's lesson, I wanted to go over some stuff from yesterday that I forgot to mention, or I didn't even forget, just thought of later. So yesterday we covered the root and the sacral chakras, that's our grounding, our foundation, our safety, and all that. And I mentioned some stones, and a stone I didn't mention was petrified wood. So this is one way petrified wood can appear, and it's this is a thick chunky piece, and then this one is a tumbled petrified wood, which I really love. This one, I love them, they're both cool, but it's just neat how different stones look after they're tumbled versus when they're raw. And then I had another example of that, which is I'm 95% sure this is called aragonite. Yeah, I'm pretty sure aragonite. See how it's spiky and all over the place, and that's rough. And then this is a tumbled version of that. I just love how drastically different aragonite can look from raw to tumbled. So I just wanted to, another thing was drumming and dancing. Those are two things that are totally supportive of grounding, and the rhythm of the drumming and the action and the feeling of it. And that's really very new. It's always been something I like, but with this free time we have, I decided to order some drums, and I got them yesterday in the mail, and I was very excited, or through Amazon. So I got a set of bongos and a shamanic kind of a drum sounding thing. They're out of reach, so I'm not going to grab them, but I posted a picture of them on here on my page last night. So dancing and drumming, those are things that can bring you in your body and ground you really well. And also what's cool about the drumming and the dancing is that it also lifts your spirits too. So it's it grounds you in your body, and then can lift you up. So I'm being raised Catholic, Irish, a little bit repressed in that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't know if that's a blanket statement for all Irish and Catholic, but I do feel it's my, that side of the family that influenced me being embarrassed or ashamed or awkward when it comes to being joyful and playful with my body in that way. So I'm working at moving through that and embracing all this stuff. So I'll be hosting drum circles, I'm sure, in a few months, and it's a good way to connect in. So as far as the material goes for today, solar plexus is at the diaphragm, and that's yellow, and the heart is at the heart center, just centered at the heart. So it's not at the actual heart. The heart center is here, the chakra. So and that's green. So we'll go over the heart and the solar plexus chakras. So solar plexus is yellow, and it has to do with your power, your sense of self, your self-esteem, your confidence, integrity. So if you are strong in who you are, it'll present that way. If you're kind of meek or not so confident, or whatever the case may be. Someone just messaged me saying they couldn't connect. I can't do anything about it now. I'm just going to record it, and I'll load it up, and hopefully it'll work out okay in the end. So hopefully you guys can catch it on the replay if you're having problems connecting now. But so the solar plexus is all about our confidence and our sense of self and self-esteem, and who we are, and feeling confident in who we are. And as I mentioned, I started seeing the chakras before I really understood them. And the first experience I had with seeing the solar plexus chakra was my mom's, who, my mom was definitely not in her power. She was definitely, full of fear, and literally dependent on my dad to be her caregiver. So she didn't have a whole lot of power. And then she also had diabetes. So each of the endocrine glands line up with the chakras too. So the pancreas is the solar plexus. So it was just really interesting when I learned about it. Like I came home from seeing her chakras like really pale and out to here, and then I went home and Googled it. And I've never seen anybody else's chakra like that since, and I've been looking at them for like 10 years. So that was an extreme case. But like I'll see things misshapen or like funky edges or different colors and stuff like that. And the other parts of the body that are ruled with the solar plexus would be the pancreas, like I said, the liver, gallbladder, stomach, the middle spine, and the upper intestines. So this basically that whole, right below the diaphragm. And then, if it's off kilter, it's people who are angry or controlling, judgmental, feeling superior. And then the other side of the imbalance would be being scared of what others think, needing constant reassurance, and being sensitive to criticism. So those are, the traits kind of associated with the solar plexus. But if you're confident in who you are and strong in yourself, it'll be reflected in that. The sound that goes with it is Ram, so that's the tone. And another thing I wanted to mention that I didn't bring up yesterday, because I have I've created and updated and edited and it added to my chakra chart for years, and I'll have to make this one available. Right now it's not available unless you were already my Reiki student or a student in my Spiritual Seekers class, but I should put this one up. I'll put it up somewhere in the next day or so. But in this chart, which I didn't have access to yesterday because I forgot about it, I have the Sanskrit meaning. So all of the terms associated, the Sanskrit words associated with each of the chakras. So the Muladhara is the base chakra, the root chakra. You might hear those words when you're at yoga, if you go to yoga and that's your thing. So the Muladhara, they say like to pull up your, what do they call them? But what I can't think of the name. Like I want to say bindi, the binds, but you pull up each of these diaphragms, which are like the sections of the body that hold in your guts. So the Muladhara is the base, so that it's like you're pulling up from underneath your crotch, like up. So that's the name of the root chakra, the Muladhara, and the translation for that word is base. And then the sacral chakra. Now I don't know that I'll pronounce this correctly. Svadhisthana. It's like SVAD, and it means one's own abode, which is, oh my God, my kids are so loud upstairs. Do you hear them stomping? They all weigh more than me. So the sacral chakra interpretation of Svadhisthana, if I'm saying that right, is one's own abode, which is like so pure, like it's our little sacred space. I forgot to silence my phone. I got a call. But anyway, shoot, I should have done that. So to be violated, sexually, it's like you realize how, of course, but it's just like, it's one's own abode. It's where you live in yourself. And then the solar plexus word is Manipura, which means filled with jewels. And I love that too, because that's like your power. That's where you hold all your power, all your special jewels. So it's just neat to like learn the interpretation. So I only learned about these Sanskrit terms and their interpretations like in the last 2 years. So like I said, like the chakra stuff is like constantly learning. There's so much to know. So the tone for the solar plexus will be Ram. So, Ram, however you say that. And that's for the chart. I think that covers that. And the other thing I wanted to say was that the first 4 chakras are based on the elements of like the earth elements. So the root chakra is earth, the sacral chakra is water, and water's emotions. That makes sense because that's like our relationships, our creativity. You can see how that would be fluid. And then the third chakra, solar plexus, is fire, which like it makes sense also because it's like the ignition, the igniting of our power. And then the fourth chakra at the heart is wind. And that movement. So I guess that'll bring us to the heart, because that's all I have for the solar plexus, other than, personal stories, which I forgot to pull out my notebook from clients So if I did that, that would be give me some more material to like share about like firsthand experiences with different, you know, different representations. But I've seen people's that like kind of look sunken in, you know, or flat, or, you know, it's so interesting how the images I'm given when I'm doing these readings on people, and it's kind of like dream interpretation. So I'm looking at the chakra and I'm interpreting the way the shape looks and feels to me and what it reminds me of, and it'll give me inferences in my own life to how to piece it together. It's really super cool. So but yeah, my mom's is like the biggest story to tell about that. And you know, people who are confident, it just looks like the sun. It just looks like bold and like, you know, solid. So yeah, I guess that's it for that. Unless you have any questions, and you can, you know, send that to me in the comments here, or email me later, whatever. So the heart chakra, what's special about the heart chakra is that the bottom 3 chakras are like physical and the top 3 chakras are like spiritual. So the heart is the bridge. So you really can see it as like a bridge between both realities. And that's the motivation for me having picked the heart chakra as part of my logo when I first created my logo for Rebalance, because I feel like I can be that bridge for people, because I can, you know, teach these things in a way that's normal and down to earth and not so crazy and up high in the spacey kind of spiritual stuff that you can come across sometimes. So and the heart is green, and the chakra shape here I have, you know, you'll see different interpretations, but here's the way the heart chakra is, you know, shown in this picture. And I couldn't tell you the interpretation of all the symbology, like all of that. Like that's something I have to read up on, because I don't know that off the top of my head. It's so in depth, you know, all the different symbols and the shapes within each of the chakra, you know, symbols themselves. But so the heart chakra word in Sanskrit is anahata, which means unbroken, which is like so also so cool. Like, you know, to be solid in your heart and to, you know, I don't know. Like, it's just so powerful to, you know, be connected and to love, and true love is never kind of broken, you know. The word, the tone for that would be yam, and heart is all about self-love, compassion, and forgiveness. So if you have resentment deep in your heart, or not even that deep in your heart, it'll block you from the flow of love. Or anger. Those two things can really, you know, shut down the heart. Sometimes when I've worked on people, I see like a brick wall around the heart, like they've built a fortress of protection. And worthiness, self-acceptance, those things come up with the heart, of course. So I read this quote when I was looking at some notes this morning, because I wanted to like have it a little bit more organized. So I came across this one quote when I was reading about the heart chakra, and it says, the higher chakras cannot be assessed, or maybe it means accessed. I wrote it down as assessed, but it cannot be assessed until we pass through the heart. So it's like you can't progress unless you deal with your own bullshit first, which is kind of what it comes down to. So you got to get out of your own way. Know that you're worthy of your own love. Let go of resentment and anger. Release the guilt. It doesn't serve anybody. And one thing I wanted to mention about guilt is, I forget, you know, it was some client a few months ago, but I've seen it a few times since, where I was seeing guilt in the heart looking goopy, like yuck, like overspilled, you know, not grime, just goopy. It just looked goopy, like mucousy and sick. So guilt doesn't serve the heart and the energy there. And then with the resentment and anger, that's the story with my dad, because he was the caregiver to my mom for all those years, and he retired early to take care of her, and he had resentment against it. He was like wanting to be the martyr, but then he like was mad about it. So he ended up having heart surgery like a year or two in, and then I started doing the chakra work a couple of years later, and when I worked on his heart, I saw like a big angry knot, and everyone knows the story if you've taken my class, but it looked like a boat rope. It looked like a big fat knot, like big angry knot. And he's like, so what'd you see? Did you get anything? And I was like, well, I saw, you know, this big angry knot. And he's like, oh, you think that's from the sutures from like my heart surgery? And I was like, no. Sutures would be like tiny little dental floss. Like, no, this was a knot of resentment, that you carry in your heart. So that was like a really strong demonstration of that. I had a woman once who was my client, and she was like on the cusp of letting her new boyfriend into her heart, kind of, but she had resistance. I made a blog post about this back then, so I don't even remember if I remember it right. But in the visual, I saw her like taking this journal that was like green, and it had like a heart-shaped lock on it, and it was like she opened the pages, and then they all like flew out, and then it was all clean and neat, and then it went back. Like it was okay to open up her heart to this new person. So I'll see cool visuals like that. So if you have suppressed emotions that you're not dealing with, you need to pay attention to them. You need to connect to them and release them, pray on it, meditate on it, ask your angels for help, but get out of your own way, because your own bullshit will stop you from progressing. So you must love yourself first. Self-love and forgiveness are first and foremost. And then another cool story was working on my own mom, and it was after I moved up here, and it was always awkward working on her because she was, in bed, and not that she had to be, but it was more of a pain for me to bring my massage table to her house. So I'd work on her, and I remember being down at her feet and connecting to her heart, and I just cried and cried and cried because it was so beautiful, because she did have a really lovely, generous, caring, open heart. And it looked like, I have it for the cover of my Down to Earth Spiritual Peeps group, but it's one of those big old oak trees that from like North Carolina that are like so sprawling and big that they kind of like branches go on the ground. And I was just like, oh my God, my mom's heart is so beautiful. And I was just crying. So that was really cool. But yeah, like guilt, sadness. Like I had a client once, this is a cool story. I didn't know this about her yet, but she was like very much a light worker, very bright and happy person. And all of her chakras were like, like A+, like well done. Everything was perfect and bright. And when I got to her heart, it looked like it was in the shadows. And I was just like, this doesn't seem like the rest of her. Like everything else was like healthy, bright. And her heart was in a shadow. And I just told her, but she didn't reveal anything to me at that time. But then I later found out that she had a stillborn. And that, weighs heavily on her heart to this day. And it was just really beautiful to kind of understand why her heart was in the shadows. So, working through those emotions and dealing with those feelings are the only way out is through. So, I thought that was cool. It was neat to see that. I can't remember any other cool heart stories off the top of my head right now, but the work is up to you, and you have to just make that opportunity for yourself, whether you journal. Another good thing you can do, I always, recommend that sort of thing. That's also throat chakra, like expressing those feelings from the heart. But one thing I would recommend, which like I said is relevant to the throat, would be to write things out. So whether you write them out and keep them in your journal, or write them out and burn them, burning stuff really helps release it. And just asking for the angels or whoever to carry it off and to take this load, because I don't want to carry it anymore. It's too heavy on me, So yeah. And then the other quote I wrote down was, a heavy heart is one that carries resentment and anger from, my handwriting is so sloppy. A heavy heart is one that carries resentment and anger from denied feelings and emotions, as well as guilt. So let that be your homework for for now, is to kind of dig at those things and see where you're carrying that stuff, and be kind and forgiving to yourself. Like I would say, speak nice to you. You're listening. And I tell this to my son, who's 15 and very much 15, but I'm like, stop being mean to you. I love you. Don't talk that way about yourself. And then I say to him, just to kind of bring it home, and this is just an exercise from wherever, but speak to yourself like you were like 3 years old. Like, would you be like, you moron, what the hell's wrong with you? Why would you do it like that? And he like laughs and was like, no, I wouldn't say that. I'm like, then talk to yourself like that now, because you're listening. So I'm always saying stuff like that, like, be nice to you. The crystals, well, first let me do the oils. I have cedarwood, pine, and eucalyptus for heart chakra, and rosemary and grapefruit for solar plexus. But of course there's more. This is just from that one thing I printed out. And then for the solar plexus, citrine is a good stone. And tiger's eye. You should see my desk. I have a collection. Tiger's eye is neat because it's kind of got like that reflective stuff. I don't have sunstone handy. Yellow jasper, don't have that handy. And pyrite, which I had yesterday, and now it's not in reach, but it's like that. Oh yeah, I do. I have a big one here. This is my big mama pyrite. I have a problem with pyrite. I really love it. It's because it helps ground and protect energy, and I swim in energy all day. I mean, we all do, but I go in on purpose. Oh, and damn, and I forgot my rose quartz. I have a rose quartz upstairs. Everyone knows rose quartz. That's just like that pink stone. So that's for the heart. Green calcite's another good. Pinks and greens are good for the heart chakra. I don't know why I keep forgetting where the camera is. It's like, malachite. Malachite's beautiful. I love malachite. Rhodonite is this pinkish kind of stone. I haven't looked it up to tell you the breakdown of the meetings. Rhodochrosite, we call this bacon. All my friends call that my bacon stone. And then Amazonite. This is a really cool stone too. I mean, of course, they're all cool. Green fluorite, jade, emerald, aventurine. I don't have aventurine handy, but it's like a pale green. And green fluorite I don't have handy, but it's like a pale green. So those stones are good to support the heart chakra as well. So that's that for the heart and solar plexus, at least in a quick snippet, which isn't that quick because it's already 20 minutes gone by. But I hope you guys are doing well and hanging in there. Oh, you know, another one I didn't add. This is called honey calcite. This would be good for the sacral chakra. And this almost has a resin feeling to it. It's like such a nice soft stone. I really like it. And copper, I'm not sure if copper is good for, it would make sense it would be good for sacral, but maybe solar plexus too. This is a really cool piece of copper. So those are the stones that I brought up for the lesson today. I did a free one-on-one healing like raffle type thing yesterday, and I had somebody win it. I think I'm going to run that like 2 or 3 times a week. I don't think I can commit to it every day because it takes a while, like not a while, but I only really have like 3-4 hours in the morning, and then that's it because my kids are done with their work and I want to be attentive to them and trying to like budget our time and stuff. So, but we're doing the healing circle on Friday at 1. So if you want to be included in that, let me know. And if you want to, if you're a Reiki practitioner and you want to participate in giving Reiki, do that. You could join us too, or just offer it on your own. Like, this is the time to shine. Everybody could use some cooling down. Everybody's nerves are shot. And when we did the healing thing, the healing circle the other night, all of us were like, all of the healers, when we talked in the end, was like, oh my goodness, everybody is like so rattled. Like, and we know it, but it was different to tap into it and really feel it. And as of yesterday, I've heard of a few more people that are affected, and we were sending some energy collectively, like me and my friends, and feeling like the denseness of the lungs of the people, and it's wild. So anything we can do to help, sending that healing energy with intention to those that are affected. But the cool thing was, when I connected, and I forgot to tell this to my friends, when I connected to the one person, he was 26 years old. When I first connected to him, I could just feel the energy of everybody praying for him. It was really wild. It was just like feeling like rainbow arcs going towards him. And I was like, wow, that was awesome. So those prayers matter, and the energy helps. And just keep them coming, however you do it. There's so many people that need it right now. But if you're guided to offer free healing, or just to take on a prayer chain or whatever, like, just do it. I'm getting this trust card, pulling that. Trust. Let me see what else I grabbed. Oh yeah, this one came up too. and harmony. So I think I'm going to read it, even though you can kind of get the gist. I put some more stones on there today. Rhodochrosite looks like bacon, says Ray. Ha, you're funny. I don't know if bacon's really good for us. So trust. It's not good for the pig, I'll tell you that. Card meeting. Believe in yourself and have faith that God and the angels are with you. Ask them to help you lose the fears that block you from enjoying full faith. Your angels know that you've been disappointed in the past. These experiences have eroded your faith in yourself, other people, or even God. However, the angels remind you of the importance of holding on to your faith. By drawing this card, the angels emphasize the value of self-trust. They know that you, like everyone, have made mistakes in the past. However, these mistakes have not eroded your true nature. You still have omnipresent God within you, and God is infallible. The angels ask you to trust in God and to trust in them. They will help you trust yourself. And then harmony. And also, after talking a little bit today with my business mentor and being a part of her group call, it's like I felt even bad that I'm charging for the distance healing. So I'm like, you know what, pay what you want. So I just changed it on my website, and it's like, pay what you want, sliding scale. And if you want a distance healing session from me, reach out to me and I'll see, what I can do. And maybe even I'll rally up my other friends to participate in this healing exchange. So it's more accessible to everyone, because it's not like I'm trying to profit. I was just like, I'm giving it as a discount, but it's like, how about just pay me whatever, and like whatever, it's fine. Harmony. Conflict is resolved in a situation that was troubling you. Know that you deserve this peace and happiness and accept it graciously. Beloved child of God, you are a peace lover at heart. This card comes to you as a sign of new harmony that dawns upon you. Let go of viewing the situation as troubled and see yourself and others through the eyes of your guardian angels. In this way, you'll look past the surface and see the beauty and light that eternally shines within everyone. By shifting your viewpoint to the angelic perspective, you become an earth angel. Holding an elevated viewpoint sparks miraculous healings in all of your relationships. Conflict drops away, revealing the clean and new truth about everyone and everything. Yeah, pretty cool. I'm thinking about offering a virtual healing session where it's almost just like I'm going to do it as like a recording, I think, and it'll be like kind of a guided meditation / Reiki healing at your disposal. So I have to figure out how to set that up. I got to make sure. I'm not sure if I'm going to go to work or do it here and just, I don't know what. And then I also want to teach massage tips, because people sounded interested in that. I put the call out yesterday, and that's logistically difficult, but possible. I just have to recruit my two sons, or one of my sons and my husband, somebody to hold the camera and be the demo while I, show how to massage the hand, the feet, and the shoulders. So that might be another 3-part thing or one long thing. I don't know, but we'll see. Let me know if you want, if you are interested in that, just to give me that extra motivation to do it, because I'm a little bit hung up on the logistics. But hope you're doing okay, and take it easy. And I'm going to play the crystal bowl. Let me know how it sounds, because it sounded tinny from the one thing, but then it wasn't so bad with the other. So I'm going to play this, and then I'm going to then I'll do my little chimes, and then I'll turn it off. So hope you have a good, happy Wednesday. Take it easy. Go do meditations and stay calm. The rest of the world needs your calm energy. Thanks.